next match was what was arguably the worst part of this entire pay-per-view. The Brothers of Destruction versus the Wyatt family. And what's a shame is I kind of liked this storyline. A lot of people didn't. It is definitely very hokey, but Bray executed it with such conviction that I actually was okay with the idea. It was different. It was out there. But considering Bray is ideally going to be the next horror-themed character with, some form of supernatural ability, it made sense in its own way. So yeah, even though I'd often roll my eyes at the shit like when he brainwashed all of Taker's druids, I still enjoyed it. And even if I am kind of enjoying it for at least some of the wrong reasons, at least it is entertaining me. This match did not entertain me. First off, it started with Undertaker seemingly taking 4 hours to come out to the goddamn ring. I know this is like his big anniversary, so they're obviously going to make a big spectacle out of it, except they didn't. It was his normal entrance. It just seemed to take about 1,000 times longer to do than normal. And I was already, done with it even before it began, just for that reason alone. If they had done something creative and it happened to take a while, okay. If they had made, a big deal out of it, but above everything did something different, okay, that would have been cool too. But it was just same old shit, just stretched out. That's why all these matches have been too short and too anticlimactic, is because they needed to have that extra time being dedicated to Undertaker walking towards the ring. And it seemed like it took forever just for him to come out too. And then all drama, all suspense, all intrigue was lost when Bray Wyatt chose Luke Harper to be his partner instead of Braun Strowman, who I think everybody figured would be that guy. You see, Braun Strowman might be a little boring, but he is actually one of the very few villains whom WWE has protected. He's yet to really lose. He squashes most of the people he goes up against. So even though, his matches have been rather snooze-inducing, he is a threat. Luke Harper is a much better worker. In fact, when I pointed this out on Twitter, somebody responded by saying, well, maybe it's because he's more likely to get the entertaining match. And that is both true, didn't really happen, but Harper hasn't really won anything meaningful for a long time. Even when he was in a tag team match with the Usos, I don't think they gave them the clean win. So, okay, it's better than him choosing Rowan, but that's still, just once again, it made it feel more lopsided. Bray has not been on a winning streak, people. And Harper is far beneath Bray in terms of credibility. So that immediately made me not care. And it started off, I think, with Rowan getting his ass kicked. And for some reason, he leaves the building. I don't know where they're going with that. If Rowan leaves the Wyatt family, then that made him rejoining the Wyatt family kind of pointless. But I'm not even going to question... I'm losing my train of thought. The only memorable part of this entire match was when The Undertaker and Kane chokeslammed Braun Strowman through a table. It kind of reduced Braun's credibility, but not much. But it killed Bray Wyatt. It was a short match. I'm pretty sure the time it took for Undertaker to come out was longer than the match itself. But above everything, the Wyatts were dominated throughout most of it. So yeah, you have these two old guys killing these newer guys. The guys who are supposed to be the future of the company. I'm not saying that the Brothers of Destruction should have lost, even though I personally would have preferred that. But at least make it more competitive. Taker versus Wyatt at WrestleMania was a more, even affair where both sides were presented as equals, and it just happened that Undertaker won. Here though, God, Bray Wyatt doesn't feel like he belongs in the same ring as these guys, and that depressed me, especially as Kane has been for the most part presented as the biggest loser in the company. God, they ruined this gimmick. They just should go ahead and scrap it completely, repackage all of these characters, because I can no longer take the Wyatt family seriously. Especially Bray. So I don't know what they're going to do with them now. But otherwise, I thought this was a very plotting match. It took forever to get over with, even though, as I said, it was very short. It seemed like nobody could really get used to each other's styles. So all of the moves looked awkward, and I got furious when at one point, the Wyatts finally did get the upper hand on the Brothers of Destruction, but it's so telegraphed and predictable that it just annoyed me, where Taker and Kane are lying side by side. Bray Wyatt starts doing his spider walk when it's like, okay, they're obviously going to do that spot where they sit up suddenly, and, it's going to scare Bray. And, of course, that's exactly what happens. And it's like, God damn it, Bray Wyatt, you should be smarter than this. The exact same thing happened to you at WrestleMania. Except at WrestleMania, it actually made sense and was kind of a cool moment. Recycling that same moment, it just emphasizes how lazy this pay-per-view is. So yeah, let's not build any new stars. Let's just keep the past on the top. When, as much as I respect Undertaker and Kane, they're not going to be around that much longer. Definitely no more than 5 years. I don't even think it'll be more than 2, but I could be wrong. I thought Taker was going to retire after he got beat by Lesnar the first time, so the shit booking, shit match. I'm practically falling asleep at this point. What was next? Oh yeah, the World Heavyweight Championship match. Roman Reigns versus Dean Ambrose. This was a waste. It wasn't bad. In fact, it was actually rather entertaining, but it just... Well, let's just talk about the action. On a technical level, this was fine. Pretty fast-paced. Both got to show off some really cool moves. The problem is that the suspense is low because we know Roman Reigns is going to win because Ambrose has not been booked as a credible threat. But even more so than that, I didn't really feel any sense of drama. Now, these guys are best friends to the point where they're often compared to being brothers. So instead of properly developing a face-versus-face match, instead, it's performed more like it's a heel versus heel match. You see Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose acting very petty at times. At first, like, they charge each other, with such intensity that you feel like these guys really just want to hurt each other. And so that doesn't really fit the storyline they're trying to tell. But, like, there's this other part where, they're both, on the ground, they sit up, and they start, like, slapping each other and pushing each other as if they just hate each other, and they've hated each other this entire time. Not sportsmanlike at all. And so, it just... horrid storyline. And a lot of people were angry that Ambrose lost. I disagree, just because he's been booked as a loser. This was the time to finally give Roman Reigns his moment, whether you like it or not. He was the only babyface who really was credible, and I didn't really want a heel to win, even though I love Kevin Owens that much more, because we've endured a very long title reign from a heel, and I just kind of want something new. So Roman Reigns going over, okay, fine. I was a little taken aback by how short this match was. Once again, just when it was getting good, it ends. So very anticlimactic, very unsatisfying. Also, I thought the commentators kind of sucked throughout most of this. one point they start kicking out of each other's finishers, and they don't really treat it like it's that big of a deal. So, way to go, guys. And it should have clued me into what was going to happen because this was so short.